Everybody has a different meaning for the word small, since it is such a relative term. Some people think of a bird to be small compared to a car, or a butterfly to be small compared to a bird. Something I consider to be very small would be DNA. I have been working in a research lab here at UCSD studying atomic force microscopy, and I just wanted to explain a little bit about what I do. For example, I've imaged DNA, which has a width of 2.5 nanometers. This strand is coiled around these histones, which then wrap around to create a chromosome. The chromosome is now considered too small relative to a 50 micrometer cell. This is a 3 order of magnitude size difference. Everybody knows that small things are small, and they can see charts quite often, but the problem is that we can't really imagine this 3 order magnitude size difference. So I'm going to try and describe it in terms of distance. For example, a walk to the beach from UCSD is about an hour. Think about this 1 mile to be the 1 nanometer. A walk to San Diego would take about 4 hours, and a walk to Los Angeles would take about 2 days. Now, 3 orders of magnitude difference would be a nanometer to a micron, as shown from DNA to a cell, which is the equivalent of walking from here to Portland, Oregon. 14 days of walking. Think about a nanometer being 1 mile, so the millimeter would be 6 orders of magnitude larger. This is 1 million miles. We would have to walk 40 laps around the Earth. Since the nanoscale is much smaller than one can see, that is where I come in and develop images for the nanoscale with an atomic force microscope. This bulky machine here is the actual instrument. The basic mechanisms behind this instrument is the laser, which reflects off of the cantilever. The tip goes along the surface and measures the height along the surface to get a topographic map. The laser is actually the main component since it records the tip's movements to make this topographic map. So whenever the tip moves, the laser moves and the reflection also moves. This is how we record the data. There are lots of different measurements which can be taken to gather small characteristics of small materials, including different images at different speeds, different angles, and different forces, which also relay different adhesion characteristics. This is an example of a surface. The pointer measured the topographic map. We can also scale them to different characteristics. This image is color-coded to relay the height of the material of a sample size of 1 micron to 100 nanometers. We can see how different characteristics come together to give us a great picture of the characteristics embedded in the material. These scans took place from different directions to cross-reference the data to ensure accuracy. One can also functionalize the tip by adding molecules on the tip and testing adhesion between molecules. For example, this shows amino groups linking to the cantilever tip to make it acidic or attach silicon oxide balls. There are also things like attaching the protein to the tip and to the bottom of the chip and pulling it apart. The atomic force microscope can measure the force to keep certain proteins together and what forces these proteins rupture at. This shows the other options of silanol linkers, which can also hold things to test their other reactions between the tip and the sample interface. Now that I've explained the basics of the new types of science engineering, there are also many deviations to the technology to further expand the functionalizing of the tip. Some of the advancements include electrochemical AFM, magnetic force microscopy, and conductive force microscopy. The main thing to keep in mind here is the scale at which the science is geared toward. A new realm of science has now been created. From milli to micro, now nano. That is an overall change from 1 mile to 40 laps around the Earth. Instead of focusing on the properties and the interactions of matter, observing reactions of the Earth underneath our feet, we are creating our own matter and creating new things. Nanoengineering is a new science where we can create, manipulate at the DNA level. I've been studying this for 2 years and there's still a lot left to learn just about one machine, let alone a whole field. So check it out!